Okay, choose the inequality that represents the following graph. So let me copy the question to the board. And I will enlarge it. Okay, so we see in this graph that the arrow starts with 5 and the direction of the arrow is to the left, meaning that all the values of the arrow are less than 5, and since the circle on the number 5 is solid, it is filled with color, it means that all the numbers are less than or equal to 5. So the inequality should look like this. So let's say that the number x represents all the possible values that are less than 5 or equal to 5. So this is the inequality that we are looking for. X is less than or equal to 5. Option A is not correct because x is not only less than, it can be equal to 5 because the circle that's on the number 5 is full. X is not greater than 5 because then the arrow, the blue arrow, should be to the right and it's to the left. And x is not greater than or equal to 5 because again the direction of the blue arrow is to the left, meaning that all the values of x are less than 5 because they are to the left of 5 on the number line. Okay. The tape diagram represents an equation. Okay, so we see two blocks here, the upper block and the bottom block, and they are they have the same length or the same width, and so it means that they both equal 24. So 24 is split in the bottom rectangle is split into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 equal sections. So it means that 24 divided by 8 is the value of 1q. Okay? Because if we divide 24 into 8 equal sections, as in the bottom rectangle, then each of these sections, which is equivalent to the q sections in the bottom rectangle, will be equal to 24 divided by 8. So q is 24 divided by 8, and q therefore is equal to 24 divided by 8 is 3. So q equals 3. Okay, which rule describes the relationship between the x and y coordinates on the following graph? Okay, so for the first point has an x of 0 and a y of 0. The second point has an x of 2 and a y of 4. Okay, x is, sorry. x is 2 and the y is 4 for the second point, and for the third point the x is 4 and the y is 8. So the third point, x is 4 and the y is 8. So which rule describes the relationship between the x and y coordinates? So based on this point we cannot deduce the rule, but based on these 2 points we see that y is 2 times as many as the x. Y is 4 and x is 2, y is 8, x is 4. So it seems that y equals 2x for each y. If we double the x, we get the value of y. Okay, so let's see if we have something. Y equals 2x. Yes, that's our answer. Y equals x plus 2 is not right, because let's see, if y equals x plus 2, then let's say for this point, then 8 should be equal to x, which is 4, plus 2, and x plus, sorry, not plus 6, plus 2, and it means that 8 should be equal to 6, which is not correct. So the correct equation is y equals to x. Okay. You are getting on an elevator that is already filled with several people. You wonder if your weight will put the elevator over the maximum weight limit. You know that your weight is 132 pounds. In the equation below, P is the weight of all the people already on the elevator, and T is the total weight inside the elevator after you get on. The relationship between these 2 variables can be expressed by the following equation. T, okay, so T is the total weight inside the elevator after you get on, and P is the weight of all the people already on the plus your weight. Okay, so P is the total weight of people already on the elevator, and 132 is the number of pounds that you add to the total weight of the people already on the elevator, and T is the combined weight of you plus the people that are already on the elevator. Identify the dependent and independent variables. So T, the total weight inside, the total weight inside the elevator after you get on. Okay, so this is the dependent variable, because the total weight inside the elevator after you get on, T, is dependent upon the weight of all the people already on the elevator. So this is the independent variable. Okay. So the total weight inside the elevator after you get on is the dependent variable, and the weight of all the people already on is the independent, because T is affected by the combination of these 2 values. So as P increases, T increases, and as P decreases, T increases. So T is dependent upon the sum of these 2 values, and therefore it is dependent on the value of this variable. So the total weight inside the elevator after you get on, which is T, is the dependent variable, and the weight of all the people already on the elevator, which is P, is the independent variable. Okay. Complete the table for the given rule. Okay, the rule is y equals x minus 1/4. Okay, so y equals x. So for x, plug in this value 1/4 minus 1/4, which means that for if x equals 1/4, then y equals 0, because 1/4 minus 1/4 is 0. Okay. For if x equals 13/4, then y equals 13/4 minus 1/4, which means that in this case y equals 13 minus 1 is 12/4. 12/4. And if x equals 2, then y equals 2 minus 1/4. 2 minus 1/4 means that y in this case equals 1 and 3/4. Okay. Okay. So for the first value of x, y is 0. For the second value of x, y is 12/4. 12/4 is 12 divided by 4, which is 3 wholes. And for if x equals 2, then y equals 1 and 3/4. Kim and Stacy like to make necklaces. Kim has made 25 necklaces, and Stacy has made T necklaces. They have made a total of 55 necklaces altogether. So 55, which is the total number of necklaces made altogether, equals the number of necklaces that Kim has made, 25, plus the number of necklaces that Stacy has made, which is T. So the combined value of number of necklaces that Kim and Stacy has made together makes a total of 57. So the equation is 57 equals 25 plus T. 57 equals 25 plus T. How many necklaces did Stacy make? Okay, Stacy made T. So to isolate the T, we need to subtract 25 from both sides of the equation. So on the right hand side of the equation we are left with T after we subtract 25, and on the left hand side we need to subtract 25 from 57. 55 minus 55 minus 25 is 30, plus 2 is 32. So T equals 32. Just verify. 57 minus 25, 7 minus 5 is 2, 5 minus 2 is 3. So T equals 32. How many necklaces did Stacy make? 32. Solve the equation. 0.3b equals 0.9. So we need to isolate the variable b, and because b is multiplied by 0.3, because there's an implicit multiplication between 0.3 and b, so we need to divide both sides of the equation by 0.3. So after we divide the left-hand side by 0.3, we are left with only the b, and 0.9 divided by 0.3. To compute this, we need to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 10. So we get a fraction that is more easier to compute. So we have 9 over 3. 9 over 3, 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay? If we multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number, it's basically like we have multiplied it by 1, which does not affect the value of this fraction. So 9 divided by 3 is the same thing as 0.9 divided by 0.3. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. So b equals 3. And we can verify this if we multiply 0.3 times 3, we should get 0.9. And okay, so 3 times 3 is 9, and we shift the decimal point one place to the left, so we get 0.9. So this is the correct answer. B equals 3. Solve the equation 1.25 equals 0.75 plus r. So if we want to isolate the r on the right hand side of the equation, we need to subtract 0.75 from both sides of the equation. So on the right hand side we are left with r, and on the left hand side we need to subtract from 1.25 we subtract 0.75. So 1.25 minus 0.75. So 5 minus 5 is 0. 12 minus 7 is 5. So we are left with 0.5. So 0.5 equals r. Okay, so r equals 0.5. And if we verify this by plugging in 0.5 instead of r, so 0.5 plus 0.75. Okay, and add these two together, so this is 5, 5 plus 7 is 12. So we have 1.25, which is the other side of the equation, which means that the value 0.5 is correct. So this is the right answer. R equals 0.5. Identify whether each phrase is an expression, equation, or inequality. So this happens to be an equation. This is true because we have 4 to the power of y plus 8 equals 9. So we have two sides, the equal sign, and the left hand side, and it's supposed to be equal to the right hand side. Okay, this is in an inequality because we have two sides, but they are not equal. The left hand side is less than the right hand side, so this is an inequality. And this is an expression because we don't have an equal sign or less than or greater than sign. So it means that this is an expression with two terms. In 3 is a term, in 2 is a term. So 3 minus 2 is an expression. Okay. So this is an equation. This 7 over y is less than 6. This is an inequality, and 3 minus 2 is an expression. Okay, select the values of x that make the inequality true. Okay, so the inequality is minus 1/4 is less than x. Okay, so let's draw, let's take a straight line here. So this is the number line. This is 0 and 1/4. Let's say that we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is minus 1 and this is minus 1/4. So minus 1/4 is to the left of the 0. So it means that it is indeed minus 1/4 is less than 0. So A is correct. Okay, minus 1. No, sorry. Yes, if we plug in 0 instead of x, okay, so A is correct. B, if we plug in minus 1 instead of x, so minus 1 we see that is to the left of minus 1/4, so this is not correct. Minus 3/4 is here, and it is to the left of minus 1/4, so minus 1/4 is greater than minus 3/4, so this is not correct. If we plug in 1 instead of x, it is correct because the 1 is here and the 1/4 minus 1/4 is here, so minus 1/4 is to the left of 1, so it is less than 1, so this is also correct. And E, 1 and 1/4 is here, so obviously it is further to the right, so minus 1/4 is also less than 1 and 1/4. So A, D, and E are correct. A, D, E. The tape diagram represents an equation. Okay, so the upper rectangle is the same length or width as the bottom rectangle. The bottom rectangle is split into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal sections, and each section is represented by the variable n. And the upper rectangle has a width of 1.75. Okay, write an equation to represent the image. So 1.75, which is the length of the upper rectangle, equals 5n. So this is one way to represent this tape diagram. Another way is to say that n equals 1.75 divided by 5. Okay, so these are two valid ways to express the tape diagram. So I'll go either are valid. I'll go with this one. 1.75 equals 5 and 1.75 equals 5 and. Jake is younger than Sophie. Sophie is 14 years old. Okay. Write an inequality that compares Jake's age in years, J, to Sophie's age. So J, which is Jake's age in years, is less than 14. That's it. J is less than 14. It's less than 14. J is less than 14. Okay. Graph x is less than 1. So the point needs to be on 1. And the direction of the blue arrow needs to be to the left. So each value of x should be less than 1, but the circle needs to be hollow or open because we do not include 1. It doesn't say x is less than or equal to 1. It says x must be less than 1. So all the values of x must be less than 1. So 1 itself is not included. Therefore, the circle needs to be hollow or open. Write an equation to represent the following statement. J is 7 times as large as 6. J is 7 times as large as 6. J equals 7 times 6. Therefore, J equals 42. Okay. Is it true? 42 is 7 times as large as 6. Yeah. J equals 7 times 6. J equals 7 times 6. J equals 42. Okay. The hanger image below represents a balanced equation. So on the left hand side we see 45, and since this image represents a balanced equation, then I use the equal sign, and on the right hand side we see 3 identical triangles. They are the same size and they are represented by the variable z. So 3 times z, or 3z, equals 45. So we are looking for this equation, or another way to see it is that 1z equals 45 divided by 3, or z equals 15. These are two valid ways to see this equation or this diagram. Okay, 45 equals 3z, let's see. Choose one answer. Okay, 45 equals 3z. 45 equals 3 plus z is not correct, because this is z plus z plus z. Okay, so these are 3 z's, so it's not 3 plus z, it's 3 times z. Okay, find the value of z that makes the equation true. So we need to divide both sides of the equation by 3. So this is to isolate the z, so z equals 45 divided by 3 is 15. Z equals 15. Okay. Jan is allowed to spend 45 minutes on the computer after dinner. He spends his entire 45 minutes either watching videos or playing games. Sounds familiar. Write an equation for the number of minutes Jian spends playing games. Why? If he spends X minutes watching videos. Okay. So the total number of minutes that he's allowed to spend at the computer is 45, and this total amount of minutes is a combination of the number of minutes he spends playing game, which is y, plus the number of minutes he spends watching videos. Okay. Write an equation for the number of minutes. Okay, so so in this case, y equals the total number of minutes that he is allowed to spend on his computer, which is 45, minus x. Okay, so if this represents 45 minutes, and let's say that this shaded area is the x, the number of minutes that he spends watching videos. So 45, which is the total number of minutes, minus x, leaves us with y, which is the number of minutes you can spend watching videos. Okay, so the equation is y equals 45 minus x, y equals 45 minus x. Okay, on Monday, Jian spent 5 minutes watching videos. So x represents the number of minutes he watched videos. Okay, so the first point, x is 5. So if x is 5, y if x is 5, then y, if x is 5, then x is 5. Well, 45 minus. Okay, so here I have the answer. Okay, so if x is 5, I'll just plug in 5 here. 45 minus 5, so y is 40. If x is 5, then y is 40. Okay, so this is for Monday. On Tuesday, he spent 25 minutes watching videos. So on Tuesday, x equals 25. So if I plug in 25 instead of x, so 45 minus 25 is 20. So y equals 20 for Tuesday. Y equals 20 for Tuesday, and x is 25. So this is Tuesday. X is 25 and y is 20. And for Monday, x is 5 and y is 40. Kenny and Michael have scored points during a basketball game. Kenny has scored 13 points and Michael has scored 3 points. Together they have scored a total of 27 points. So 27, which is the total points they have scored together, equals the number of points Kenny has scored, which is 13, plus the number of points that Michael has scored, which is P. Select the equation that matches this situation. Okay, so we are looking for this equation. 27 equals 13 plus P. 27, okay, equals 13 plus P. Okay, choose the graph of the inequality -1 is greater than x. Okay, so we are looking for all the values that are greater than -1. So we need to start from -1 and go in the right direction. So A is not correct because we do not start from -1, we start from 1 and go in the right direction. The blue arrow or purple arrow should start from -1. So this is not correct. A is not correct. B. We start from -1 and we go in the right direction. And all the value of x are greater than -1, not including 1, excluding 1, which is correct because the inequality says -1 is greater than, oh, wow, -1 is greater than x, so we need to go left, not right, so my bad. Okay, so we begin with -1 and all the values of x should be less than -1 because -1 is greater than x. So we need to begin with -1 and go to the left. So B is not correct because we are going to the right. C is not correct because we begin from 1 and we should begin from -1, the purple arrow. And the only correct option is D, because we begin from -1 and we go to the left. So all the values of x are to the left of -1, meaning that they are less than -1, meaning that -1 is greater than all the values of x. So D is the correct answer. Okay. Gabby tried to solve an equation step by step. The equation is j over 10 equals 80. So the first step that Gabby did was to multiply both sides of the equation by 10. See that he multiplied the left hand side and the right hand side by 10, which is correct because he wants to isolate the variable j. Because on the left hand side we see j divided by 10, he multiplied both sides of the equation by 10, which is good. And now on the left hand side he has the variable j by itself, and on the right hand side he has 80 times 10, which is 800, so step 2 is also good. So he didn't make a mistake. Okay, we can verify this. If we plug in 800 instead of j, 800 divided by 10 is 80, so it means that step 2 is correct. So he didn't make any mistakes. Select all the equations where b equals 11 is a solution. b equals 11, all the equations where b equals 11 is a solution. Okay, so 2 times b, so 2 times 11, is it equal to 211? No, because 2 times 11 is 22. 22 is not equal to 211. b plus 18 equals 7. 11 plus 18 is not equal to 7. Well, this is not correct. b 77 equals 7 times b times b times 11. So this is correct. 7 times 11 is 77. It is indeed equals to 77. Okay. 9 equals b minus 2. 9 equals b 11 minus 2. This is also correct because 11 minus 2 is 9. 9 equals 9. So D is also correct. And C is correct. 11 equals 33 divided by b. 11 equals 33 divided by b, which is 11. So this is not correct because 33 divided by 11 is 3. 11 is not equal to 3. So this is not true. So the only two options that are correct, two answers that are correct are C and D. C and D. Good. Okay. So I have completed this unit, Equations and Inequalities Introduction, and I will move on to the next unit in the 6th grade. The next unit in the 6th grade is geometry, But before I move on to geometry, I will take the mastery challenge. So in the next video, I will do this mastery challenge. So I will see you in the next video.